For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels postgame show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The Golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight up hustle. We see you. But if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night Award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the Heady Postgame Show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win.
Hey, welcome into the Todd Fox post-game show. I am your host, Todd Fox, on a Thursday afternoon as the Angels get it done. Well, at least evening, no matter where you're at, the Angels got it done a couple hours earlier. I work for a living, so I can't come on right after during these day games, so I appreciate you for coming on this Thursday as the Angels have won lucky number 7 and sweep yet another series, which, again, if we were told, or if you told me, hey, Todd, I think the Angels are going to be 8-2 on the road trip, I was like, dude, mostly I was thinking 5-5 would be great if you split and then come home and try to regroup there. I wasn't, I was even thinking 4-6 we might go because the Angels, let's just face it, they weren't playing good before they went to San Diego. So it's like, what was going to happen? And it seems like that grand slam that Taylor Ward hit at the beginning of the road trip, it's only fitting that he hits a game-winning grand slam in the last game of the road trip. And we'll get into that. There's a lot to talk about today. Taylor Ward's had himself a great 10-game stretch. So has Logan O'Hoppe. So has Zach freaking Neto. The 3 young stars are turning into 3 young studs. Actually, no, not young. I take that back. Taylor Ward is not a young stud, but he's a veteran that we've been crapping on. I've been talking shit, and I've had to eat my words lately because he's just been on a tear. Because I was screaming and yelling from whoever would hear and listen, the fact that he's just over-swinging, he's uppercutting, he's not putting the barrel of the bat on the ball, laziness in the outfield. And yes, the outfield hasn't improved much on his defense, but dude, that's nitpicking when you're hitting grand slams every other game or home runs or getting hits. Again, all we needed was for him to have some protection in the lineup and give protection when the number 1 and number 2 guys get on base. And so far he's done that. Lately, bringing his average up from a season low of 177 up to about, I think it's 221. So I love it, man. This team is turning around. I mean, who would have thought that they were 23-24 now, just 1 game under right before they come home here with a chance to be over 500. It's a chance that they could be over 500 at the end of May. So who would have thought it? I did it. And again, I thought best case scenario, the Angels would go 6-4. They freaking went 8-2. And if you look at the games that they lost, the 2 games against the Padres, one of them they gave away. The last game against I forget the pitcher for the Padres. He shut us down, and we lost that game 5-1. Other than that, Saturday's game with the Padres Tuesday's game with the Padres in that weekday series, we should have won. So you're talking about this team could have been 9-1 at 500 right now. So what a great road trip, a great stretch right here. The Angels haven't won 7 games since 2022. We found that out earlier through the comments. And that's why you guys and gals run this show, because your comments, we read all of them. We get to all of them, and we get to you too. And we put out the olive branch here to call in later on in the show. We do the awards. This is the most interactive page out there. No other post-game show, not even AM 830, can even touch what we do. So the fact that we have the small, quaint audience that we do, we love it because we're here to talk with you because we're like fans in the stands too. We go to the games. So we're right there with you. I'll be at all 3 Miami games. I'll probably be at least one of the 3 Yankee games. We got season tickets, baby. So we're there. We got the hookups. We got 714 tickets. We'll talk about them later, as you could use that promo code to get 10% off of any ticket price, any purchase, and you could use it over and over. It's not like one of these other stupid sites where it's just one time and you're done with their promo. You can use it as much as you want. So with that being said, let's talk some baseball, all right? We talked a little bit of the overview of what they've done on the road trip. Let's talk about the nook and cranny of what happened today. Again, they were going for the sweep. We already had the ice cream, and we had the whipped cream. We had the sprinkles. All we needed was a cherry on top to complete this sweep. And guess what? We got plenty of those Marciano cherries today but if it didn't come the way we thought it would, because Oakland got, Severino's a savvy type pitcher. He's pitched really good with the Yankees. Didn't really see him when he was with the Mets. So, and we were, kind of hoping that Anderson would give us a good start. He's pitched pretty good so far this year. Phenomenal, just like he did last year at the beginning of the season. So we're thinking, okay, he's going to give us a good start, but there was that chance. What they were talking about yesterday on the telecast, both on Oakland, I was listening to Oakland's version, and they were saying the ball's going to fly out tomorrow, and there's going to be a lot of home runs. It's going to be, the whichever pitcher can keep the ball down is going to succeed. The other one's going to get beat around, and so they were predicting one of the starters was going to get beat up today. And Anderson went against Severino. And the Angels finished with 10 runs, 13 hits, while the A's finished with 5 runs, 10 hits. They had 10 runs yesterday. They get 10 today. And it didn't, like I said, start out good. The scoring went like this. Rooker would homer to left center, and Wilson would score. It was 2-0. Okay, 2-0 is not bad. And then I got to say this name really carefully, because if you say it really fast, you're basically saying the N-word. And it's so funny and ironic because he's white. But Nick, Kurtz. So Kurtz hits a sacrifice fly to score Soderstrom, and it's 3-0. Again, if this is prior road trip, I might be changing the channel or the radio station, because I'm like, man, they're not going to come back from 3 runs. Because before this road trip, there's they were swinging for the fences, striking out a ton, no contact, no walks, just pathetic offense. Since they started the road trip in San Diego, very much more patient, very more selective in their swings, prone to go the other way. You've seen a lot of hits that were hit to right field in this series and prior. And it just were frustrating the pitchers on the bases, getting guys on, moving them over, stealing bases, just causing havoc, which we haven't seen all season. Not even when they were 8-3, 9-5. Were they doing crap like that? They were just hitting a lot of home runs. But here now you're getting a nice healthy balance of home runs and doubles, triples, and singles. You're mixing it all in with a sacrifice here and there to score home a run, to move a guy over. It's beautiful baseball so far. It is beautiful baseball. And again, before this road trip happened, Oakland was actually red hot. They've cooled off before we got to them, and we cooled them off even more. The Padres were red hot. We cooled them off. The Dodgers were hot. We cooled them off. So it's very inspirational the way they're playing. Getting back to it now. 4th inning, Taylor Ward singles to left. Neto would score because Neto had doubled, and it was 3-1. Then Neto comes through with a big RBI single in the 5th inning to knock in Paris, who would get to second base on a nice hustle double, and it's 3-2. So they chipped away a little bit, but here's where it went off the rails. Anderson was already struggling to try to find the strike zone, struggling. He walked a couple guys. All of a sudden, he walks one in. They left him out there. One too many batters, and it was 4-2. And then they bring in the other pitcher, and he's trying to get him out, Strickland, and he proceeds to walk in another run. Oakland could have blown it open. They've had the bases loaded by this time 3 times, and it only trickled in a couple runs. He was able to get out of that jam by a nice throwing play, too, down the line to save a run earlier with Anderson. So that was a key play, throwing the runner out, because obviously it would have been 6-2, but it was only 5-2 he got out of it. And that lead didn't last long. We go to the top of the 7th. After a first strikeout, Angels get a couple guys on. They get a walk. All of a sudden, you got the bases loaded. And Taylor Ward comes up. And like he did in game 1 of the road trip, he hit a big go-ahead grand slam. And that would be all they needed at that point, 6-5. But you had to get some tacked on runs. And again, even when they were 9-5, 8-3, they weren't tacking on late inning runs to secure things. No, they were late. They couldn't do it. So what happened? Well, the Angels added on another home run by O'Hoppe, who seems to be hitting one every night. And I don't see how you can replace him with d'Arnaud. And there's going to be a real problem when Mike Trout comes back, because you're going to need a DH. They're not going to want to play him in the outfield. That means they're going to have to either sit Soler or sit O'Hoppe. How can you do either one? Because now all of a sudden, Soler's hitting. So you have the home run by O'Hoppe. It's 7-5. Adele walked with the bases loaded to make it 8-5. Moncada hits a sacrifice fly. Again, doing the things they weren't doing. Working walks, hitting sacrifice. They would have been helping out pitchers. You know, when a pitcher was struggling in that losing streak when they were 8-21, it's like, oh, a guy just walked 2 of our guys. The next batter would swing first pitch and hit into a double play or a pop out, wasting out. We're like cutting down on wasting outs, cutting down on strikeouts, cutting out on first pitch pop outs. It's really nice to see. So again, I get thrown off because I'm happy. It was 9-5. Then Newman actually came through. Yeah, that Newman with a nice single to right, scoring O'Hoppe. And he had 2 hits, so we'll talk about how many hits. And by the way, we're going to read all the comments. Don't worry about it. I'll get to you on TikTok. I'll get to the ones here on YouTube and also on X. So if you can, please like and subscribe. Follow us. Do whatever you got to do. But if you can subscribe on YouTube, that would be even more beneficial. So real quickly, before we get out the awards, I'll go through the lineup. 3 for 5, Zach Neto. He's now banged 296, right where we thought he was going to be all season, because he's that type of hitter. He's a 300 hitter, dude, and he's right there. His on-base percentage is up to 341. Shonawell, 1 for 3, 1 walk. The key with those 2 guys, no strikeouts, no wasted outs like they were doing earlier in the season. Now, yes, the Angels did have 10 strikeouts as a team, but 3 of them came from Kyron Paris. 2 of them came from Tim Anderson, and 2 from O'Hoppe. Where I don't agree with the strikeouts is Anderson and Parrish. You got to do better. Your contact guys. You cannot be striking out 2 or 3 times. You got to put the ball in play. Even if you're flying out, lining out, grounding out, it's better than a strikeout, because if you can get on base, whether you get on via even a force play and you can get on base, you can wreak havoc by stealing bases. I can take the 2 strikeouts by O'Hoppe because he's a power hitter. Even if Neto were to have 2 strikeouts, he's a power hitter. You like that. Because, again, you're going down swinging, literally, but he's still contributing, both those guys. Taylor Ward, 3 for 5, 2 runs scored, 5 RBIs. He had an RBI single and the big grand slam and a walk, so he was on 4 freaking times. He raises his average to 225, which, again, it was 177 prior to that opening game in San Diego. Then you had O'Hoppe, like I said, 2 for 5 and a home run. He did have the 2 strikeouts, but I'm good with that. Joe Adele, RBI 0 for 3, but he had the walk so that drives in a run. I'm good with that. Tim Anderson, not so much. Moncada came out there with an RBI sacrifice. Good. Newman, 2 for 5 and a run scored. So again, contributions from 80% of your lineup. Give me that every day. I'll give you a W every day, because that's usually what happens. As far as leaving guys on base, 8 guys, but that's okay, because you went 5 for 13, not like last year when it was 1 for 13, 1 for 11, 1 for 10, 0 for 9. You went 5 for 13. You're going to win a lot of games when you're hitting with runners in scoring position. As far as the pitching's concerned, again, Anderson had a bad game, 4 2/3, 5 runs allowed, 7 hits, all earned, 6 walks. I mean, you win a game like this, it's a little of both. Your luck, because you've been rolling, and their bad luck. The A's have had bad luck in this entire series, losing 4-3, 7-5, 10-5 on back-to-back games. But anytime you're given, and I mean given, 10 walks, you should win that game. No, not so much. The A's went 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. They left 11 men on base. That's why they lost. That is exactly what they could not get: the clutch hit, the clutch sacrifice, anything. I think the 2 runs we gave them, via the walk, I mean, those were gifts. Otherwise, we would have blasted them 10-3. And it's kind of hard with all those other games we played against other opponents prior to this road trip. We were just nudging out 2 runs here, 3 runs there, max. How many games did we talk about that they didn't score 4 or more runs? Now, in a sense, in 4 or 4, when the Angels average more than 4 runs a game, you're looking at a record of 20-7. That should tell you what this team could be if they can at least get to the 4-run threshold nightly. It's not always going to happen, but look what they are. 13 games over 500 when scoring 4 or more runs. In this series, they scored 4 or more runs each game. They did the same thing against the Dodgers. They scored a total of 31 runs in 4 games. Hell, before this, it would take 4 series to make 31 runs. Strickland came in for an inning and a third. He had 2 walks. He was a little shaky, but got out of it. Wasn't charged to run. Detmers got into a little bit of trouble, got out of it. Zephyr John got into a little bit of trouble, got out of it. The only one who had a clean inning was Brogdon. Again, for the second straight night. Uno, dos, tres, good night. Everyone else, though, struggled. But guess what? They were helped out by Oakland hitting. Oakland hit into 3 more double plays tonight, and those 3 double plays were huge because they were in situations where the bases were either loaded or the A's had first and second, nobody out, and the inning looked like it was going to get rough on the Angels, and somehow they were able to get out of it, and the offense picked them up from there. So talk about a complete series win. I don't want to hear anyone saying, well, it's against the A's. The A's were a good team. Again, they're 22-29 now. They've lost 9 in a row, yes. But that means before this 9-game losing streak that they're on currently, they were 22-20 ahead of your Angels. Now the roles are reversed. The Angels are 2 games ahead of them, just a game under 500, while they are now 7 games under where the Angels were just over a week ago. How things can change and how things can change quickly. And so I'm very encouraged and very happy about everything tonight. So with that being said, 10 runs on 5 hits. I'm a little late for playing this. On TikTok, Sammy says, you doubted us, man. I've been coming on here telling you to be patient and to wait. And look, Sammy, I get it. I've been an Angel fan all my life. It's been tough at times to be an Angels fan. As you know, the last 10 years or so, especially, it's been more of a roller coaster that only goes down, doesn't go up. So yes, it is stressful, and I get it. You've been saying, you've been on there saying, keep your head up. We'll get through this. And again, for us to be myopic or just being like a little, hey, I got to see it to believe it. Hey, we still love this team. We wouldn't do it if we didn't. So we're here through the good and the bad. And I'm finally glad to see some good coming up. I'm just saying. Fishbowl says, I'm so proud of this team. Get Trout out there and play third base instead of Newman. I don't think that's going to happen. Also, Neto for MVP right now. Jack saying, give Rendon another $7 million or 7-year contract. Hippie says, we're going to the World Series. And Jack says, if we sweep the Marlins, I'm going skinny dipping in a retirement home. And you'll probably be arrested. But, hey, it'll be a hell of a story. I just want to dip into their comments real quick, and then we'll get over here to YouTube. We just played Stukas. Now we're going to give out the awards, and the first award is the John Stamos Player of the Game. I appreciate that comment. I just saw that one pop up. Real fans like you root for their team during the good and the bad. I appreciate that, Chad. Now, the player of the game, listen, he might as well be the player of the month, and the month is still ongoing because Taylor Ward, if you look at this guy, again, I admit it, I'm eating crow, but I'm eating crow not reluctantly. I'm inviting it. I want some more, baby. Serve me up some more. I'll take another bowl of crow right now to eat in front of everybody because that guy is on fire. On this road trip, dude literally had a month on this road trip that most guys don't do in the majors. He hit about 372 with 7 home runs and 19 RBIs. 19! So including 2 grand slams, bookending the freaking 10-game road trip. That's phenomenal. So all credit where credit is due. Taylor Ward, I apologize. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. You really have proved us wrong so far. Obviously, we know you're not going to stay hot like this the entire time. But, man, if you can keep your average somewhere around 240, bro, I'm telling you, he is finally going to turn into that, like, protection for when Trout comes back and around Soler and around O'Hoppe. And maybe, just maybe, this offense can be feared by other pitching staffs. Because you got to think right now, they're raising eyebrows. You know, obviously this team's still under 500, but they're raising eyebrows around the league. They have to be. And I think we're getting the Marlins at the right time. They are really struggling, but you cannot take them lightly. And then you got the freaking Yankees right after that. I am looking forward. I'm not going to look past the Marlins. If I'm Ron Washington, I'm like, hey guys, you got to keep this same intensity going on. You can't overlook the Marlins. We're going to take this one game at a time. Let's try to go 1-0. And you do that. You keep that mentality. You don't screw up. You don't start saying, oh, the big bats of the Yankees are coming. I can't wait. No, you don't even think about them. You think about the Miami fucking Marlins, and you look at each game and you try to keep that intensity going. Keep the same patient at bats when you need them, and then turn it on when you don't have to be patient, because what I've seen on this road trip has really caught me off guard. Because for that solid stretch, I was coming on here night after night saying, God damn it, I wish these guys would freaking adjust to what the teams are doing so that we don't have the same approach all 9 innings. And it was looking hopeless because they continued that trend. I don't know what snapped. I don't know who talked. I don't know who threw the tables or the chairs in the locker room. I don't know what happened because they never tell you these things. But I do know change when I see it, and you do as well. And this has been a different team this entire road trip. And by God, please, please keep that intensity or whatever the hell you're doing when you come home. That's all I want. That is all I want. So here we go now. Who was the worst player on the team? Brought to you in part by 714 Tickets, baby. You can go tonight by paying with no service fees or taxes. The price you see is the price you get, $34. Use our Heedy code on there. If it's $34, it's $34. Plus the code will take 10% off of that. So what are you waiting for? Don't go to all these other ticket brokers that are freaking just looking to rape your wallet. Basically, 714 Tickets is local, and they have tickets for any event, any team, any place. You can get tickets for Nashville if you want to see the Titans. You can do football. You can do anything. They have it. Trust me. 714 Tickets is the place to go. Let's see. I heard Tim Salmon got involved. I could be wrong. Well, let's see what happens. I haven't heard too much of that, but let's get into Nacho Night.
Nacho Night. Oh, yeah. Nacho Night. Pile it up. Load it high. Extra shame. Hold the pride. Grab a fork. Take a dive. Dignity's gone, but the cheese survived. Moldy cheese, stale chips. What a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
You know, real quick before I give out the Nacho Night Award, you know, his numbers don't look bad now. Before this road trip, they were putrid, and he was an all-or-nothing guy. But I got to circle back to Taylor Ward. He's currently 225 average, 14 homers, 34 RBIs. What I was saying earlier in the week, I was like, hey, you know what? I could easily see Neto, because you could tell Neto was going to be on a rampage once he came back from the IL. And you could tell Anderson was pitching pretty good, and O'Hoppe was going to be there, and O'Hoppe's been on a rampage. So those guys were rampaging as a young studs. Taylor Ward comes around as the veteran, and all of a sudden his numbers are better than both of them. Or, you know, right there, he's got more RBIs than O'Hoppe. So right now, you could, if they keep all hitting like this, or if, you know, Taylor Ward gets to 20 homers, which he should, by the All-Star break, in about maybe 50 to 55 RBIs, O'Hoppe's around the same, because right now he's got the best contact rate in baseball. And then Neto's doing his thing. Neto maybe flirts with 20 by the All-Star break, maybe 15, 16 by the All-Star break. And he's got like 40 to 50 RBIs. Bro, you're talking about 3 freaking All-Stars right there, And then possibly if Anderson doesn't pitch like today and pitches more like he did his prior starts, you could have 4 halos there. That would be freaking sick. And let's stop with a Mike Trout voting him in because he's Mike Trout. Let's get the guys who are playing in there. And again, if Mike Trout's looking like he's coming back this homestand, that's all fine and dandy, but the dude's still hitting 170. Unless he goes on a Taylor Ward rampage, those are my 4 to make it. I'm going to put it out there right now. I think those 4 make the All-Star game. I really do. I think Anderson gets in as like a coach's pick. So he's like the last minute coach's pick, but I think the fans, with Taylor Ward will get him in because I think Neto is more recognized. I think freaking O'Hoppy's more recognized around the league. I think those dudes get in. I really do. And it's going to be a fun All-Star game. So who got the Nacho Night? It's going to go to the A's pitcher right here in relief because obviously he got torched, and that is Holman right there. Grant Holman got his cheeks clapped today. 5 runs allowed in 4 hits in just 2/3 of an inning. He took the brunt of it. He surrendered 2 home runs. He's been one of their better pitchers, and even though he gave up 5 runs, it only took his ERA up to 3.60. So not feeling too bad for him, but he got lit up tonight, and the Angels sweep the A's. Wow, and wow some more. Again, what a great freaking homestand or road trip, and hopefully a good homestand to come. And again, you could just ask the A's, are you okay right now? Because we heard something bad happen.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
Exactly. So let's get into some comments since we got a super ton of them. A lot of them right here. I don't know what super ton means. That's just terrible grammar or speech by myself. I can barely talk English at times because I'm trying to go too fast. Rally Chris says back-to-back sweeps 8-2 on the road trip. Guess what motherfucking time it is? It's time to get a botanical spritz on, baby. We drinking.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
Rally Chris also wants to remind me that every time the Angels score, we're going to play the most useless thing they use in Anaheim Stadium, which they do the Deo over and over. People say it's AO. People say it's Halo. No, it's Deo. It's from an old-timey song by Belafonte or whatever that guy's name was. It is annoying at the stadium. We always joke about it, but now we're going to do it for every run they score. We did it last night, the night before that, the night before, and we might as well keep doing it while they're winning. 10 Deos, courtesy of your Halos. Oh. 10 Deos right there. That's a 21 gun salute, or how many runs is a Deo. There you go, baby. 10 Deos right there. Back to the comments we go because we got to get the business out the way. Light that baby up, Todd Fox. Jesus says. Also, Patrick says, balls in my mouth, baby. He loves it.
For you to check out what I want. I want balls and John
In his mouth. Sebastian says, let's fucking go. 7 in a row. Spritz o'clock, Mario says. Mike Trout says, ever since Todd said about Ward, he's been on a tear. Yeah, I did rip him. Also, it is Spritz o'clock. Dan says, sweep. Caesar says, I cannot talk shit about Taylor Ward no more. Wilbur also says, I'm honking it in public, and I don't care anymore. He's getting his Halo honk on. There you go. Also, Dan Rio says, love me long time, and that's Roger Lodge because he is so horny with his team.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight which makes me so horny and me love you long time.
Daniel says, happy Thursday. Hey, everybody. Also, Albert Pujols checks in with no mames way, 7 in a row way. EQ says, let's fucking go. Albert Pujols says, I'm a Fox. My name is Todd. Rally Chris checking in with Ward was like, I heard what you said about calling me Dumbo ears and I suck. Take that, Todd. Hey, I'll take it, man. If I can motivate these guys, hell yeah. 7 in a row, Q Lombardi. Yeah, Mario is already starting with the Lombardi talk. Who knew? Brian says, I'm not tired of winning. It's not enough winning. We got to win more. Tyler says, Todd, we straight vibing. EQ says, I can't take it no more. I'm streaking down Catella, Todd. A lot of our fans are getting arrested. Sebastian says, we're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Do we even have that one still? Because I love that one. Geez, I might have gotten rid of that one. I think I did. Damn it. But
All right, you guys, let's listen up. We won a game yesterday.
we already
we
won
win
that.
one today, that's 2 in a row.
It's like
we
6
win
in a
one
row.
tomorrow, that's called a winning streak.
It's called 7 in a row, baby.
Winning.
Exactly. Mike Trout is due back this homestand, but what game? I have no idea. Rally Chris says the last time the Angels scored 50-plus runs in a 7-game span was the 2014 playoff season. Playoffs, here we come. Just hoping that we get there. We'll see. Sorry about that. Spritzing in Sacktown. Luke says, Tyler says, Boo Boo is foaming at the mouth right now. Todd is getting closer to that thong. Oh, I'm gonna have to wear that stupid shit, dude. See. I'm gonna freaking keep. I'm not gonna welch on my bet. I'm gonna be rolling down Catella in some sort of booty shorts or some sort of thong. I can't do it under the hats, man. I'm a season ticket holder, and they would boot my ass in a heartbeat. Patrick says, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid yet. 2 sweeps is nice. That's cool. Be apprehensive. It's all right. Damn, Mario checking in with a $49 super sticker. Holy shit. Just for that, Mario, your Bears are winning the Super Bowl this year. Man, that's awesome. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Boo Bears Mommy. Super sticker right there, $19. Dre Money chapping in as well. Appreciate those super stickers. We love it. And it always helps us with some stuff that we're going through right now as far as the page getting the merchandise ready for the end of the month. And then also we have a nice charitable cause that we'll be talking about coming up in the start of the month too, that we're going to be using some of this money to pitch into for underprivileged kids who don't have baseball equipment. That's the best part about it, man. We're going to be giving back to the community. That's what we do on here, baby. We love all you people, man. We love the fact that the kids want to play baseball again. And if they're given the tools, they can succeed. Rally Quiz says, Rally Quiz. Taylor Ward is the first Angel to hit multiple grand slams in the same month since David Eckstein in 2002. And I think he did that back-to-back games. Jason Hess says, Newman is still pathetic. Mario also says, I thought their run was coming to an end today, but hey, did you see that launch angle? Exactly, Gooby. Patrick Carrillo says, I would still like Ward to be traded to get a prospect back with more potential, potentially a third baseman or a pitcher. I'm telling you, bro, if this team does tank a bit and they are out of the playoffs by the All-Star break, or it doesn't look like they're going to make the playoffs, and Ward is still killing it, which I don't think he's going to be killing it at this range. But if he's hitting 240, if he's close to those numbers I talked about earlier, dude, there's going to be people calling Perry, and you possibly could get 2 major league ready players for him. So we'll see. There's a lot to talk about and a lot of season left to be played. And that sounds familiar. I've heard that somewhere.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Luke says rotation needs to pick it up. Not a great series for them outside of Soriano. EQ says 24 and 25. Boo Bears Mommy says the A's are feeling like, oh no, what happened? Oh no, it's sad. Exactly. They're kind of feeling it. They're in their feels.
Oh no. What happened? Oh no, how terrible. That's just awful. How terrible. Oh no.
Yep. And let's see. Also, Rally Chris says Angels are now 20-7 when scoring 4+ runs. Also, so much winning, Isaac says. Also, Mount Trout says, if you think Artie is a worse owner in baseball, getting Mr. Beast another owner that wouldn't know baseball. Exactly. Also, Doyers are tied with the A's for most grand slams allowed. We move into Sacktown. We should at the rate they're playing up there. Cypress Hill says Todd will do hits from the thong. I can hear that background too. Let's see. It's Stefani over there saying hi. What's up, Stefani? Light that baby up. Big A is going to be expensive, so it's going to take a lot more winning. Todd getting ready to dance probably tomorrow night. Again, yeah. So also Saucy says even when they play like shit, they win. Nice. That's when you know you're on a roll, because this team has done a lot to screw themselves over, and they freaking still get the victory. And I did say, hi, Stefani. Mike Trout says, now the Padres getting swept right there. Awesome. Let's see. Boo Bears, it says, I've been a fan since a baby. Okay, you got it. And then that's a long time fan right there, because I've been a fan almost since I was 6. One more win, then we get the thong dance. I think we get the thong ride. I don't know if we're going to do the thong dance in here. I want to up the stakes a little bit. I want to actually do this in public. Honk your honk, Todd. And I am honking my honk because I'm super excited with this team winning. Absolutely. EQ says, Todd, we traded Ryan Nada for cash trash. What do you think about this? We'll be adding on if we continue to be at 500. I think we will, dude. I think at some point, they're going to add on some more players, but what kind of players? I don't know. Wins have wins, and more wins. Estefani says, I don't know why people hate the Angels, because they like to hate. Dodgers will never consider us a rival, but there's a reason why we played them on rivalry weekend. The MLB can admit it, but the Dodgers can't. Albert Pujols says, why couldn't the Angels play like this when I was on the team? Jason Hess says, Newman bailed on a fly ball to third base because he doesn't know how to use his hand to cloak the sun. Pathetic. Get some damn glasses on, or learn how to play on the opposite side, or use some sunblock. Yeah, he's not the smartest tool in the shed. EQ says, also, what do you think about Kevin Newman so far? I think he can pick up from his past and be a single or double kind of walk guy. I think he could be, but again, he's off to such a bad start, him and Anderson, as Jason points out. But damn, if he gets it going now's better than never. So I'll take that. And anybody that contributes, I'm a fan of theirs. I wasn't a fan of Ward because he was doing too many stupid things. I still think he's bad defensively. But where else are you going to put him? He can't play anywhere else. Grillmaster says, I'm ready for Saturday. Kikuchi tomorrow, yes. Also, hope Kikuchi can get his first win to get us back to 500. My man Don Hammond says, offense has really picked it up. Great to see fire. We need this. We needed this sweep so bad. Also, Blake Snell equals sex. See you guys Saturday. Yes, we will be there. Pasa Cooks. Also, Mr. Beast is a fact. He plays no factor in this at all. Saucy says, I thought the Angels bullpen was bad. The Sacramento garbage is next level shit. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm encouraged to see like Hunter Strickland come back. And again, like we mentioned yesterday, you're getting Brogdon looks a little better than he did in spring training. That's why he wasn't with the crew. And you're also seeing guys like, Cajeda getting close, Bachman getting close. The bullpen with Stevenson. Those guys are going to flip this bullpen, and hopefully for the good. They could come out and suck too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm betting on them getting this bullpen finally solved. Maybe they are hearing us, Todd. Maybe some of the front office is hearing us finally. Maybe they did, because to make a drastic change like this, something happened, and we just don't know. He just spritzed all over. Also, Grillmaster spritzing, so dual spritzes. Can't be much worse. Todd, remember when you said we were going to get swept by the A's? Don't remind me, Trout. Get your ass on the field first before you start talking crap. Jason Hess says, I won't start honking my honk till we take the series from the Yanks. Yanks are hot. They just swept Texas. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. What is up, Eric? Look, I think they're going to go toe-to-toe with them. What happens? I don't know yet. I got to see what they do against the Marlins, and we'll see that in person coming tomorrow. Jesus says, I snuck away and spritzed at work. Rally Chris says, I've still been wearing my Disney jersey as a good luck charm. Mike Trout says, I spritzed in my Newport Beach home. Brian says the A's did their best impressions of how the Angels offense used to look. Rally Chris says, thanks to my Dodgers friends kept me after we swept. Who cares? Y'all still in last place. How did that age well? See toe-to-toe with the Yankees. Yes, CM, I think we can. I think we can be, play them heads up. I mean, not bow down to them. So we'll see, man. I really like our chances against the Yankees. I'm not going to call anything. I'm not going to be like that because I've been trying to preach all season. Take one game at a time. Let's go 1-0 each game if we can, and then try to win series. And obviously, we took 2 out of 3 on the road trip. Should have took all 3. Now look that we're looking back at it, we can Monday morning quarterback it, but let's not take the Marlins for granted. Saucy says it's time to honk, fellas. And also, again, like I said earlier, I think Mike Trout should be back at some time. I would say against the Yankees. I don't think he's going to make it back against the Marlins. That would be my guess, but I could be wrong. Also, Saucy says, gotta give Ward some credit. He's been amazing at the plate. He sure has. Rally Chris also says, how's Papa Fox feeling about the 7-game sweep? Dude, as soon as I came home, he was waiting for me at the door. He's like, did you listen to the game? Boy, they played good today, but I didn't think they had a chance at one point, but boy, oh boy. So my dad is super duper happy. Jason Hess says,
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
There you go. Also, don't want to rush him back. That's true. Trade Ward now, his value is not going to get much higher. I think it is, but yeah, he could be a trade candidate here, but you can't trade him while the team is winning, though. So you could trade him when the team hits the skids. And even Lombardi is asking for Stukas.
What the hell's going on out here?
Okay, Lombardi. If Lombardi asks for it, Boo Bear's mommy, they want to hear it again. By God, Jack is reminding us of a phone call last year where he called in drunk again. That's how happy he was. Jason Hess says, too bad Ward's defense isn't like his offense. Ward's defense is going to keep him out of the All-Star break. I still think he makes it. What will Roger be saying after the 7-game win streak? I told you it's revive in 25. Oh, yeah. Hoppy. That guy. A bootlicking houseman for sure. Jack Chandler says the season starts tonight, baby. Yes, it does. It's been going on all road.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Call me a bootlicking houseman all you want. I don't give a damn.
Yep. Saucy also says, how the fuck do you walk 8, get in your first strikeout in the bottom of the 7th inning and win the game? That's the Angels. Let's see, got to F up Miami and keep it going. Mario also checks in with, so much fun to be here when the Angels are constantly winning. Let's keep this rolling as long as we can. Honk, 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 and spritz some more, baby. Boy, you guys are honking and spritzing everywhere. Yeah, I talked on this one earlier, Paisa Cooks, where I think Ward, Neto, and Ohapi are all-stars along with Anderson. I think Anderson gets in on the coach's decision as like a backup pitcher. I think you have 4 halos there if they keep playing like this. Brian says Ward actually had good defensive highlight, too, that relay to Neto. Yeah, I forgot about that, Brian. I got to give him his flowers on that one. Dominic says Deo's a plenty during this streak. Yeah, we've been playing a lot of them. Eric Walls saying boom, baby. Jason says, let's have a winning streak after the All-Star break. Then we can start honking. Yeah, I agree with that right there. 7 in a row. Don says, big series against Miami. We need to crush them too. Saucy also chips in with, my honk can't be contained at this point. I'm honking and spritzing involuntarily now. So he's leaking all over the place. That is terrible. But we encourage it. I don't know if that appeals for that. Also at Brian, thankful Ward's noodle arm got it to Neto to throw the strike to the plate. Also Q Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
Grillo is coming. Don said, good thing Texas lost again. We're getting closer to them in the division. EQ says, with Trout coming back, who's getting sent down? That's a tough one, but a guy like Paris has plenty of options. You're not going to send down Adele, and it sucks because I just think that he's starting to find his rhythm again. I got a fever, Saucy says, and the only prescription is more spritz. Botch says, "Hey Todd, I think someone listens to your advice about the Angels as an organization needs to do. You deserve this success." I wish I could prove that somehow. I wish there was a way to know that they are listening, because I've given plenty of passionate rants on here, and it just seems like it's falling into place. I'm not going to sit here and pat myself on the back because I don't believe it's me, but if I played just a smidget into what they're doing right now, and your comments played just a smidget into what they've done, then this podcast is fully fulfilled. It's done its purpose. Because if we were able to influence a goddamn team to just change a little by what we were saying in the comments or on here, my God, that's bigger than anything I've ever dreamt of this thing becoming. But we'll just take it as, yes, we influenced them. We'll take all the credit. It's because of us. Rally Chris says, "I say we go 5-1-4." Stop it, Rally Chris. Stop it. Don't mess with the mojo. Just keep wearing your jersey. 7 straight wins. Tamir 20 is loving it. LV says, "Guess what, baby?" Or no, I take that back. If I know LV, guess what, bitches?
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Exactly. Botch says, "We don't need Trout to hurry. Take your time." Also, LV says, "Get those booty shorts ready, Todd." I'm warming them up in the bullpen as we speak. "So much winning, I can't stop honking." He can't control himself. Indecent honking. Trade Rendon for pitching. I don't think you can get a sack of balls for him. Also, Don Hammond says, "Neto and Ohapi are already starting to turn into all-stars." Leo says, "What do you think about the trade deadline looks like? Hoping Ward doesn't get flipped." I think there's no way we flip a dude if we're winning. So if the team is winning at some point or keeping it going, there's no way we're going to flip any of these guys. I just think right now you can actually be in the driver's seat to actually obtain some players. But that's a long way away, and there's no way we're going to be this hot by then. But we can be playing consistent. And if we're playing consistent, unlike we were doing in the 8-21 stretch, this division sucks. I mean, I've been telling people, although Seattle got on a roll, they were playing the White Sox. So again, this division is open. There's no clear-cut winner right now on paper. So just keep doing what you're going to do, and good things will happen. Keep winning series. We're going to be messing around with that division or the wild card as long as we do those two things. Keep winning as much as you can, obviously, and playing consistent. And then the second thing is just try to win series. If you're winning more series than you're losing, you're going to be in the mix. Whether you like it or not, you're going to be in the mix. And then Perry's whole mentality about just trying to improve and trading some pieces away, maybe just be like, hey, we need to add some guys. We're missing a piece or two, and we might actually take off. So that's where I hope we are when the All-Star break gets there. But we got a lot of baseball left to be played, and you know the rest. Kikuchi Soriano make it 9 in a row. I'm calling it now, Paisa says. LV says also Halos will sweep the Marlins. You can take that to the book and deposit. Well, that other check, LV, I think it cleared. You were calling the sweep over Oakland, and you got it paid. B-Train says, woohoo, World Series, here we come. Chubb's also checking in. We're going streaking. We're going down Catella to Gene Autry Way. Jason Hess says, more home runs, Ward, so we can get something back when we trade him. Trade Taylor Ward. Ward is hitting Q Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
That's Grill Master right there. Mario also checks in with Ward should be the least player of the week or he should at least be the player of the week. Q Lombardi. Yeah, I mean, dude, he's put up monthly stats in a week and in 2 weeks.
What the hell's going on out here?
There you go. Also, Gerard says, first away sweep of the Athletics in 28 years. They shall forever be the Sacramento Bees, as in biatches. I love that. Botched Investigation says Taylor is on fire. He's a cyborg. At Trash Halo says Ward is locked in right now. He's actually swinging with the bases loaded. Q Lombardi. Again,
What the hell's going on out here?
my Lombardi is like a co-host at this point. Leo says Neto and Ohapi locks for the All-Star break. Also Ward on DH duties. No Trout, please. Wow, I've never heard that. Also, Halos 1, you know that what that means. Run me them 10 honks, please. Oh my God. All right, here we go with the honks now. Let's 2, 4, And there you go. You're getting the honks. You're spritzing everywhere. We get it. You guys are excited. This is the most honks ever. Gerard says, I haven't felt this good since Shaq and Kobe swept the Sacramento Queens in 2002. And LV says, are we so back? We're so back. What's Rendon's story these days? Botch wants to know. He's comfortable counting his millions and checks weekly from Artie in Houston. Todd mentioned a struggling team coming into town last time. The Pirates came to Angel Stadium. Look what happened there. Tomorrow we face Sandy Alcantara, but Alcantara's coming off a Tommy John, and he's 2-6 so far, but we can't take him lightly. Jack Chandler says, play the young guys, forget Trout. James says he wants to hear yet again another Deo. Also, dump Trout. He can't even DH. Jesus says it's simple. The team 86, the analytics team to get to the winning streak. There you go. Mario says, question, Todd, do you think Trout can be a 300 hitter again? I think he can get back to it if he focuses on it. I feel he wants to hit homers too much. Those will come no matter what. That's the biggest thing. He's got to turn down that ego, and I think if he does that and puts in the work, there's no doubt he can be. Don't forget, Jansen is 10-10 in saves. Hoppy and Neto are superstars. Also, I saw something earlier. The Angels acquired Dodger rejects. Is that true? I think that's false. Matty Matt says, I'm honking my honk, and I don't even care. So he's saying, I have a problem, and I don't care. Some may say it's not a problem. Wu says, we were in a 1 inning away or so from winning that Padres series in game 2. Damn, rest in peace right there. Also, Dan says, you can barely speak English, not talk. Do you fail at English? Yes, I do. You would have failed me if I was in your class, by the way. Fernando says, don't forget about Kenley Jansen, an all-star candidate. He needs more save opportunities. And the fact that he wasn't even going to be given an opportunity today kind of makes me mad, but whatever. It's all about the Anaheim Angels swept the Sacramento Athletics, Sacramento A's for the first time ever in Sacramento. Also, last night, the A's were playing the Deo in their stadium, Q Lombardi. Yeah, they were trying to copy our shit.
What the hell's going on out here?
Damn, there's a lot of comments. See, I love that when we win. We have way too many to catch up on. EQ says, if we don't extend Nolan, Neto, or a Hoppy, I'm going to throw a fit. That'll come in good time, but you gotta play out these contracts right now, the rookie ones. Angels will win again on Friday Night Live. Baldwin says 4-game sweep versus Dodgers sweep. What was more difficult? As usual, the A's onus as usual. Sheesh, I can't decide. I think it was the Dodgers because of the ravine is so hard to play in. Rally Chris says Mariners were leading 2-0 over the Astros. Now the game is tied. Andrew Freak says, can they go 4-2 on the homestand? They possibly could, and I think that would be nice. It would be more impressive if they went 2-1 against both teams. I think it would suck if we swept the Marlins and only won 1 against the freaking Yankees. That would suck. Saucy says this team is going to trade away the house for some mediocre rentals. Hopefully not, dude. Can't. We got to keep our composure. That's for damn sure. Because if you don't, you get emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Come on, all right, everybody. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We've made a great effort so far. Let's just keep it up.
That's right! We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure! We've come too far! There's too much to lose! We've got to just keep our composure!
Pink dolphin shorts is what they want me to wear. Also, you got let's see, we're going Shrieking Mario. I think that's for sure. Rally Chris says we're playing a fishy team. Oh, good grief. Don't you start with the jokes. All I'm hearing is Ward for Paul Skeens. That's not going to work. Iron Giant says spritzing all over my office at work. Well, congratulations. Brian says not to nitpick after a great sweep, but our pitchers had way too many walks tonight. They absolutely did. Also, Todd, I'm not going to be that registered SA. Rally Chris says, speaking of the Padres, are getting swept back-to-back series, 6-game losing streaks, like they were excited by beating us in that last game, now swept by the Mariners and Blue Jays. Saucy says, if we get Skeens, he'd have 2 Tommy Johns, then become a free agent. Yeah, or become a pitching coach for the Dodgers. Leo says Trout coming low-key coming back at the worst time because where do you put him and who gets DFA'd and sent down? And right now, too, that might mess up the chemistry. Rally Chris says, I think whoever wins this division, it's going to be either the Mariners, Rangers, or Astros, or our Angels. Well, come on. You're not really going on a limb right there. How sweep it is. Also, all hell Johnny Washington, a hitting guru. Yeah, right. Artie Sucks checks in with who do you want to send down when Trout comes back? Great show, by the way. Thank you, Artie Sucks. I would have to say it's by default because nobody else has options really. It's Kyron Paris. Not that I'd want to send him down. If you gave me a decision though, I'd have to say, and I still want to give him more time, but if you had to put a gun to my head as far as a guy to release, it'd probably be Newman at this point because I do like the defense from Tim Anderson better than Newman's overall play. Appreciate the comment though. Saucy says, is the Stevenson guy ever going to join the team? He's in AAA. He's very close, Saucy. Artie is hoping that he's allowed himself back into the calling all Angels. Now, he's got a long way to go before he gets there. Last time we beat the Yankees, we were here in Anaheim a year ago. We took 2 out of 3 from them, so it is possible. Useless Trucker says, we are fortunate and lucky that this team turned around. I am baffled. So he doesn't know what to think. Also, are the Angels fortunate? Oh, yeah, you already did that one. Steve Lee says, dinner? Oh, shit, dinner's ready. I got to run then here in a minute. Also, let me just finish up these comments and I'll go in and get myself something to eat because I worked a long-ass day and now I'm hungry. Lugo might be the odd man out. I wish it is Paris. You know what? I forgot about Lugo, but I don't think you could send Lugo down, although he's had 2 bad games in a row. Yeah, I don't think so. Tamara 20 says Gavin wants a yummy tasting nut. Yeah, he does, but he wants to tell us a little bit more. And last night he gave us this gem, and might as well.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut? If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. Spent not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years covering UCLA sports, specifically with the Daily Bruin, writing articles, conducting interviews, all that good stuff. Crack into a good source of protein with how about a yummy tasting nut? I love the nut. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Had me fired up.
He is so fired up tonight. Brian says, listen to the Dodger Lodge yesterday for the first time in 10 years. And of course, he was talking about how we could put Trout back in center field and his top 10 favorite sitcoms. I'm surprised, Brian, he wasn't talking about the war in Ukraine. Still not at 500, Silent E says. Benji says 85 win team. I'm saying I like that if they were to get there. Eric Ward says 7-game winning streak, baby. Great way to come back and kick the asses of the A's. Revive in 25. Also, Neto is a stud, future Halo captain. Absolutely. Artie, bring a pre and post game shows under the helmets. You freaking coward. That's why he took him away. Yeah, I'll be in there in a minute, babe. She says dinner. Let's fucking go. Winning. Hammered right there. I'm still hammered. Mario says, I think Marcia and Farkas eloped. The Halos are winning. Q Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
Let me get to the rest of these comments real quick. Also, the Jets are honking. F Brooklyn. Randy's happy. Let's see. Steve Lee says, "Hungry, give her a yummy tasting nut." I love it. Randy says, 1 game away from 500 before June. Holy shit. Patrick checks in with the Sacramento Athletics of Las Vegas. Thank you for the super sticker, Mo. Also, Jason says Todd's going to honk under the dinner table. Yes, I am. Update, the Astros are leading 5-2. Steve Elise will not keep her composure without dinner. Q Lombardi. Yeah.
What the hell's going on out here?
I'm going to be in trouble right now. Eating without you. Oh, geez. I got to hurry up. Let's see. Also, been an Angels fan. Randy says a lot longer than a Jets fan, Mario. Baldwin says Newman. And losing credentials over nuts. I love it. Randy says my Halos are the only ones that never give up on me or never give me only ones to give me a chip. I always have love for them more. Respect, Randy. Respect. Steve Lee says hungry. Be careful, Todd. Everyone check out late check-in. Let's go, Angels. Everyone hit the like button. Yes, so much. Thank you, everybody. We just hit that hour mark, too, right on the cue. 1 hour and 8 seconds. Thank you so much for everybody checking in. We got a lot of people on all of our social medias right now checking in with us live. Let's go, Halos. We won that 7 games in a row. Last one of the night comment says, Todd, do you think Trout's fucks up the chemistry when he comes back? You know how streaky baseball is. He could seriously fuck up a good thing. That is my biggest fear, Eric Ward. I will not lie to you. I'm just hoping that he takes the same freaking approaches that these guys are doing right now, because if he tries to switch up anything and gets these guys back to all or nothing, we're in trouble. Thank you again, Booba Bear's mommy, for that the super sticker. And Todd's a big boy. He needs to eat. Hey, you watch your mouth, Chubbs. You watch your mouth, but you're right. I'm going on a diet soon. Anyway, with that being said, we won, baby, 7 in a row. We're going to play you out with some Stukas, baby, because that's what we do when the Angels win, and they've been winning a lot. If you're at the game, come by and say hi. I'll be in Section 260 throughout the series. I'll be there for Miami and most likely the Yankee game, at least Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll have to give those away. By the way, email me the funniest joke you got in Halos in the Infield, and I'll give you 3 free tickets to tomorrow night's game. No, actually Saturday. Sorry. I'll give you 3 free tickets to Saturday's game if you can tell me the funniest joke you got. I'm going to be very, off the wall with this one. No Angels trivia. Just give me a funny joke. Halos in the Infield podcast at yahoo.com. And those 3 tickets will be ballparked right back to you. Enjoy, because I'm going to enjoy my dinner. Enjoy yourself a good dinner tonight. Go Angels. I'll see you tomorrow after the game.
From Anaheim down to the Texas plains, hot takes flying right and all.